Hello, in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to open an image in Photopea, turn it into black and white, and then add color to just one part of that black and white image. First you're going to start by going to photopea.com, and once you have the editing program open in your browser, you're going to want to open your image. So you're going to go up to File, and now I have mine saved on my desktop already, so I'm going to go to Open, make sure it's on my desktop. I'm going to choose the image I want to edit and open that. Now once it is opened in Photoshop, I'm going to want to have two different layers of the same image, so I'm going to duplicate that layer. So there's two ways to do that. You could go up to Layer and Duplicate Layer, or you could just hit Command J, that is the keyboard shortcut for it. So I'm going to click on that, and now it has made a background copy over here. I'm going to double click on there and just rename that layer for black and white. So now I have my black and white and my background layer. Now this layer is the one, as you can tell, I'm going to turn to black and white. So I'm going to make sure I have this layer selected, and when it's selected it'll be a darker gray. I'm going to go up to Image, Adjustments, Black and White, and then it'll automatically change it for you. Now you could adjust the individual colors with each slider, and while they don't appear as colors on the black and white image, it'll adjust them as the colors appear on your color version. So I'm going to make mine a little bit brighter. I'm going to click OK. So now I have my black and white, and you can see the background is in color. So if I was to turn off the black and white layer, it'll show through that I still have some color underneath. The next step I want to do is zoom in, because I want to select, I'm going to select this pumpkin bucket to turn into color. So I'm going to zoom into the pumpkin by hitting Command and the plus sign. I'm going to get it centered on my page there. Once I have my pumpkin big enough for me to see the edges of it, I'm going to go to my lasso tool. I'm going to start with my magnetic lasso. I'm going to click that one. And what this one does is it tries to act as a magnet that is sticking to the side of whatever you're tracing with your mouse. It doesn't always do it perfectly, so I kind of use it to start almost as a base selection, and then I will tell you how to make that a little neater and cleaner after we do our main selection process here. So as I go around, I'm clicking points with my mouse just to set it, and then once you click back on the first point that you started, it's taking its time here, but once you click back at that first point, there it goes, it'll have those little marching ants around it, and that means that area is selected. Now I do want to clean that up and make it a little bit more even. So I'm going to now switch to just my lasso select tool, and that's when I'm going to use my Shift or my Alt Option key. Now if I want to add an area to what I have selected, I'm going to hold down Shift, and then I'm going to circle the parts I want to add, and it'll add it for me. So I'm going to go around my pumpkin, extending out the lines where I want. Now some of the lines, like right here, I want to take away that because I think it looks a little bit messy. So that's when I'm going to hold down my Alt Option button, circle around that, and it'll remove that area. I'm going to also remove this area over here, and a little bit of this corner right here. And I might come back in and add a little bit there. Add a little bit here. And once you have your outline pretty even, so you want to try to go for lines that are somewhat smooth, not the super bumpy looking ones, because that'll be more obvious when you are looking at your editing. Then you're ready to switch it back to color. So right now I'm going to hit Command and 0, and that's going to fit it to screen. once I could see my whole image and I could see that I have the area I want selected, that's when I'm going to go to my eraser tool, which is right under the clone stamp. And I'm going to make my eraser size a little bigger. And I'm simply going to erase the black and white layer that I have selected. And by erasing it, I'm letting the color image underneath show through. Now I'm going to go up to Select and Deselect, or you could hit Command D, and it'll take away that selection area, and then you could see how your picture looks. Now if you want to, you could always zoom back in and see if there's any area that you missed or that you want to fix. And then you could go back in, and you could even go in with your eraser tool and clean up any of those rough edges. And it does take a while and some practice to really select your area neatly and to get a really steady hand with your eraser tool. So don't worry if it takes a few tries. And you can see as you go what areas you might have missed when you were selecting. And let's say you accidentally, on one of your eraser strokes, you go like that and it goes a little too far. You're like, whoops, I don't want to do that. All you have to do over here where it says history is click back to your previous step, and it'll get rid of the step that you just made. So then, let's say I'm happy with that. Once I like what I've done, and hit Command 0 again and look at my image, and then now I have it. I have it where I like it. I think the pumpkin looks good. I like the black and white image there. So the next thing I'm going to do, when I have two layers, when I'm saving something, unless I want to go back and edit it later, I'm going to flatten it because that'll make the file size smaller. So I'm going to go up to Layer. I'm going to go all the way to the bottom and go to Flatten Image. And now we just have one layer over there. And then our last step, before we're ready to sign out, we're going to go to File, Export As, JPEG. Always make sure this is at 100% over here. You could change its inches here, that's fine. Hit Save. Title it whatever you want. Make sure you choose where you're saving it to so you could find it. Mine is already on my desktop. Ghost, I'll put Ghost Color, and then I'm going to hit Save and make sure it's a JPEG. And then once it is saved onto your desktop, you could close your image. Now, when this pops up, it says there's unsaved work in Ghost PSD. So if you opened a different type of file than what you save it as, so when I opened it, it was a PSD, but I'm saving it as a JPEG. So it's asking if I want to save the PSD version, but you don't have to because you've already saved it as a JPEG. So you could just click OK, and then it'll go away. So that's why that'll pop up. Yeah, so that's how you do it. Thank you for watching.